Mark here for another Friday Night Mark 2.0. Another musical guest. Ben Brookes Belcher joins us from Atlanta, Georgia. Ben, I want to start out the podcast by asking you, how long have you been a musician and what got you into that industry?
Well, how windy do you want to get on this? So I started my my professional career. I guess I was 19. Um, I was I grew up in Charleston, West Virginia, so I was around music all my life. Had a musical family. My father was an entertainer, so I grew up watching him, and of course, he got me started. He played guitar and mandolin and sang. He was just a natural entertainer. I wish I had inherited his natural entertaining ability, but uh, he definitely got me started on playing guitar. Um, so we did that most evenings. We'd play guitar. We'd play music together, mostly old folk songs and old bluegrass songs. Um,
I heard
great,
mandolin and I jumped right to
yeah,
bluegrass in my mind.
yeah, great education. Of course, I didn't appreciate it then. That's not what I wanted to do then.
Oh boy, are we on the same vibe here. Let me tell you, my
Yeah,
dad even played guitar and sang too, and it's funny how it kind of just trickles down to you.
yeah. And I had other family members that, I had some very talented uncles that were singers, and it was really hard you know, it was hard to keep up for a while. Um, but I learned a lot from them.
Well,
And
bluegrass is kind of a family thing, isn't it? So,
sure,
I
yeah,
mean, there's not many genres that really focus on the family like bluegrass. I don't know of any.
yeah. Well, where I'm from, there wasn't much else to do but play music and
Hmm.
work. You
Where
know,
are you from?
I was
Where are you from
Charleston,
again?
Charleston,
Oh,
Charleston, West
Charleston, right.
Virginia. It's a coal
Wow.
mining country, and
Hmm.
um, so right out of high school, my first job was a music store, um, and I I had a I had a friend there that was a jazz musician, so I I got some valuable lessons from him. His name was Vince Lewis. He went on to be a professor at the University of Charleston.
Hmm.
Um, so I took a job with my father on a strip mine shortly after that. I was running heavy equipment, and basically we blew up the top of mountains and took the coal out and filled the valleys up with the top of the mountain and moved on. Very, very destructive and dangerous. And
Hmm.
so they were always on strike. So there was a period of time where, you know, I got married at a very young age and I had a family, so I had to support myself and I took a job. I was playing on the weekends anyway, but I got offered to go on the road with a band, and that basically became my career, my way to make a living for a long time. So that's how I got started.
Wow. And coal mining, that was kind of a questionable thing to even be in. It seemed to be always under attack by some government entity or something like that.
Yeah, it's not a good living. I mean, that's the only industry there, and it was a good living uh,
For a while.
wage wise, but it's very dangerous. One of my best friends was killed in a deep mine. Um, his father got him a job. He was just a terrific drummer, and he was in there for 2 weeks, and he was crawling over a fresh roof fall and got crushed. and his
Goodness.
dad found him. So,
Oh my goodness.
yeah,
Wow.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad I escaped. I'm glad I escaped that.
What years were this in West Virginia? The reason why I'm asking, I don't know if you remember, but West Virginia was the state where the DJ played the B side of a Doobie Brothers song, and that's how Black Water became a hit. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember the song. I don't.
Yeah, it came out of West Virginia. It might not have been your
Really?
city, but what happened was, and I found out because they aired it on the VH1, Behind the Music, the Doobie Brothers, and they said that the DJ accidentally played a B side of a Doobie Brothers single, and the B side was Black Water, and then it just snowballed and went to other stations across the U.S. and became a hit.
Wow.
And that was
Never heard
West
that
Virginia.
story.
When
Okay.
I hear West Virginia, I think of John Denver.
That too. I was thinking that too. The exact same thing.
Yeah.
I love John Denver.
Country roads.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, so your dad was a musician. She play an instrument and all that too, getting involved in all that.
Yeah, my dad, I learned to play on my dad's guitar that he actually corded my mother with.
Oh,
It's an old,
cool.
it's a 41 Harmony archtop that I still have. And that's what I learned to play on. And the strings were this far off the neck.
Nice.
My dad said, well, I thought it was pretty
Good
good at the
training.
time, but yeah, dad said, well, you learn to play that, son, I'll buy you a real guitar. So it was a
With
good
some
deal.
action. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Builds up your strength.
Totally. Where'd you go to
Yeah,
school?
Charleston High School.
Mm. All right, cool. So I wanted to say, so you still married? Your kids are grown and doing their thing
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah. I've got a son, Jason. He's also a musician and a successful programmer. Uh, so he's doing well. He lives
Bless
in
his heart.
Birmingham.
Oh, Alabama. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
So let me ask about this song. The one on YouTube. It's I Gotta Roll. I had to look at it. That is really a cool song. So what inspired that song first?
Well, it's kind of it was the sense of wanting to um, get away. I was, like we talked about, I was raised on a dirt road in Belcher Hollow Road, West Virginia, and there was, it's an isolated part of the country, and I just, I always longed to travel, and um, it was kind of
You're like the male Loretta Lynn. It's like you
yeah,
had this hard coal miner life or something. I always respected that whole coal miner daughter thing, you know? It was all great. I'm old, so I remember stuff like that. So
yeah.
that's really awesome. Humble, life, and just amazing. So it was your kind of departure from that thinking, that way of living. Yeah, that's really awesome. Now the picking style, being in bands and stuff like that, was particularly awesome in my mind. The very first thing that I noticed was that guy is flying on those. He's got a cool picking style. I see maybe guys like John Mayer even attempting such a thing, and much less keeping it up for 3.5 minutes and putting lyrics on it. Is that how the song plays live, or are there going to be like other people involved in that, or you just sit on your stool and do that?
Well, coming from West Virginia, I didn't have a band or people to play with other than my father, and he wasn't interested in songwriting that I knew about at the time. But I So I started out listening to Chet Atkins and trying to be Chet Atkins, and I figured out pretty quickly that I was never going to be Chet Atkins. That guy, he was from another world.
He's
But
awesome.
I was heavily inspired by players like him, Mark Knopfler and Jerry Reed, and
yeah.
Chet Atkins, and so through trying to learn their style and not really being able to be them, I developed a bastardized style of my own because I couldn't be anybody else but me. So I took the skills that I had, um, and I always played finger style,
Yeah.
with a thumb pick. So
Oh, with a thumb
I
pick.
took
Oh,
what I
cool.
yeah. So I took what I had and adapted to playing in groups. And as far as songwriting, I've always written on guitar by myself. And when in a group situation, I would take the fully formed song to the band, which is always a stressful process because it's usually 50-50. But that's how I approached songwriting. And I've tried co-writers, and it's worked uh, at times very well, but for the most part, I write alone on guitar and accompany myself with the um, play the bass with my thumb and pick out the notes with your fingers.
So when you produce a piece of music right now, are you focused more on on like online media rather than any live thing?
Well, I mean, that's all, let's be honest, that's all we have now. The music business is
Different.
like it was. The record companies don't have a product to sell, so um, when we produce a piece of music, which is a single, even though I might write an album, we're going to release it as a single. YouTube and uh, Apple Music. Uh, but how we do it is we'll produce a song, um, and release it through TuneCore, and we collect our royalties through Exchange, um, and TuneCore collects royalties from the streaming. If somebody these days wants a CD, they can get one. Typically, it's a download.
Yeah, they don't.
That's
Yeah.
just the
That's
business.
the
It's where
coolest
we're
thing
at.
about it to me, Ben. The coolest thing about it is like my band right now has no association with any label whatsoever. And this is an entirely new concept to me, and which is so beautiful that you can actually make a living sidestepping all of that because they up a part of total profits from the stars that they sponsored or
Well,
produced or whatever you want to call it.
you can, if you take the model that John Prine uh, did, he started his Old Boy Records label in it was either 1980. If you,
All right.
unless you want to give everything away to a record label, that's what you need to do. It takes a little business savvy, but you can do it.
Well, I get on you. I say, don't ever let them near you. I mean, it's just such a beautiful thing that something can just go purely by itself, untarnished. And you keep saying we. So how many people are on your team exactly? Everybody. I mean, musicians, people who work behind the scenes. How big is your crew?
So I've got between 3 and 4 people. Sean Sullivan is my engineer. I do all the producing. Um, so when I'm recording my material, um, I'm in here focusing on performance. Sean runs all the gear. Um, he also helped me put the studio together, which took 3 years to get it to its current state. Um, so I have a bass player, multi-instrumentalist that plays keys and whatever. Um, and I have a roster of friends that come in and do sessions, steel guitar players, um, violin players, and drummers. Getting one of the secrets to getting a great uh, production starts with the drum track. Actually starts with a song, obviously,
Sure.
but you have to have a great drum track to start
First,
with if the
yes.
song calls for it. So there's a couple of drummers um, that are in the Americana field here in Atlanta that are good that I use occasionally. But a lot of my drum tracks are remote.
Hmm.
We do record drums here, but not as much as we used to.
Miking up a bunch of drums is not fun.
No, it's not. And
I remember trying to balance all that out, and that was a nightmare. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
that's cool. It sounds like you've got an awesome infrastructure built, so you
yeah,
can interchange things, and so looks like you're ready for whatever the future brings. That's the cool thing.
yeah. I'm real proud of what we've accomplished here at the shack.
The shack, I like that. And so you got your website. Is that doing good things for your band? Is that bringing a lot of attention to you?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of attention, and incidentally, we're releasing a new song tomorrow.
Oh, this is perfect.
Yeah,
A release.
yeah. I had a little
Okay.
I like
plug
it.
in there. So
Yes.
It's called Dirt Road Man. It'll be on all the streaming platforms tomorrow, and I'm real proud of the song. And if I had to pick one song that defines Ben Brookes Belcher, that is the one.
Hmm.
I don't suppose you have like a little acoustic version you could give us a little taste of or something like that. I know it's a lot to ask. You don't have a guitar nearby your chair right there or something where you can just reach over and you knew I was going to ask you to play something, right?
No,
No.
I didn't.
No.
Oh,
I don't have any guitars in here. Can you believe that?
oh no,
No, I
it's all
can't. With
good.
what you've told me, no.
Don't worry about it. We'll make sure to
It's
check it
in
out
the
tomorrow.
shack.
Yeah.
Next time. Next
Next
time.
time,
Give me
Yeah,
okay.
we're
warning.
planning on having
I'll
you
play a
back,
mini
so
concert.
that's
Yeah.
great.
Well, that's a good idea. You know what, too, and if this thing once it premieres, and so when you say premiere, what all are you gonna do for that? YouTube.
Yeah, it's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora.
So
Um,
basically, all the audio platforms that are worth a damn, and then
some of
YouTube.
them, some of them, we've released 7 albums and um, at least 10 singles. Um,
Where do you
in
fans
fact,
usually get your music mostly? What platform?
Spotify.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. You have to put pricing into it. It didn't actually work well for you. I mean, Spotify itself.
Well, when we're a TuneCore artist, so there's different distribution companies that perform the same function, but we use TuneCore. So TuneCore releases to all the major platforms and all the platforms that arise in the future. We're
Kind of a
automatically
one
added.
service does it all. Nice.
Yeah. So they add to Pandora, to my Pandora channel when new music comes out.
So this release tomorrow is just a single.
Just a single. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
I released an EP in December, which I'm proud of. But we're not going to release any more albums because people these days have a short attention span, as you probably know. So
Yeah.
getting them to dig in to an album is
Yeah.
probably not going to happen. So almost everybody that I know in the business are releasing singles now.
Yeah, I won't make a goldfish joke on that one, but so you say you have albums and they're on all these platforms and people can go find all these things. 7 albums, you said? Is that
Yeah,
what
I
you
think
said?
I've taken
Wow.
one of them. I think I've taken one of them down. That at one point we had 7 albums.
Mm.
Um,
So, how many musicians do you have in that recording? How many instruments you have in there? What are they?
oh,
You actually use a drummer?
oh yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Drummer,
Because
keys,
what
bass,
kind of genre do you think it would be, this song?
Americana.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely.
I
What
like that.
about like when you're performing live? I've seen on your website that you share the stage with some big names. Do you care to share any memories of that? And
Ooh,
who
yeah. Give us a story.
you were on stage with?
Give us a good story.
Well, I've got a lot of great memories. It's well, for instance, Marshall Tucker. I did a few shows with them. Um, and I grew up listening to those guys. And um, it, it's humbling, and it's also exciting to share the stage with those guys. But and I'm always listening. I'm always listening, especially to the guitar players, because we're all just a melting pot, a big gumbo of everything that we've listened to and been influenced by. And people play things that you wouldn't necessarily hear to play. So I'm always listening to what folks play. It's very inspiring to me. And also when I'm on stage with my people, I play off of everybody else. Uh, when I hear somebody play something, it inspires me to play things that I wouldn't think of otherwise. So it's we all we draw from each other.
That's cool. I heard of something about Charlie Daniels. Did you do anything with
Yeah, Charlie
Charlie
Daniels
Daniels?
is such a nice guy. So very supportive. There was no competition. A lot of times when especially if you're the opening act, they'll they'll cut the power on the PA on you, and make sure that you're not you don't upstage
An
them.
oldie but a goodie.
But
Wow.
Charlie was one of the guys that didn't do that. He wanted you to shine, and I nothing but good things to say about Charlie. Atlanta Rhythm Section was great. Um, Great players, man.
I don't
Um,
think anybody brought the fiddle to the forefront like Charlie Daniels
yeah, I
band.
mean
He
he
made
was
it
a great
cool. He made the fiddle
yeah
cool, man. It's like, what? I remember
such a
that.
great guitar player too.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
man, yeah.
yeah. That's an awesome. I bet you got a good memories off of that.
Yeah, and he was a record producer too. Um, Lots, learned just tons of things from all those guys. You just soak it up, when you're out there.
I could listen to him go on for days. I
And
bet he's got
And
a
then
world of wisdom.
yeah, and then you apply it to your own thing, and you get nowhere trying to be somebody else.
Hmm.
You just take what you've seen, what you've studied, what you've learned, what you've soaked up, and you sit back and you try to capture what comes out of you as a person, as an artist, and that's the best you can do.
I'm just talking to you for a half an hour. I can tell that you're very honest yourself, that you're not trying to be a big shot or anything like that, and it just makes me love you a lot, and make me want to listen to your music, because really that's the kind of music that, I don't know, maybe because I'm a little older now, that's not just a big shot, more things that are just like, this is my life, and this is what life means to me now, and that's really the vibe I'm getting off you. And I'm really looking forward to hearing that new song tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm so proud of it. I hope we get to meet, talk again afterwards. I promise I'll play 3 or 4 songs for you. And
No, that'd
Hey,
be great. Yeah.
awesome. Then we promise to share that song out and out and out and out. We're gonna do
Yeah.
everything we can to promote it, and we'll
yeah,
say, hey, they're
it's
coming back.
it's a
Would you
rocker.
be agreeable to a live stream? We thought, maybe someone can comment on YouTube on our video crowd. Please comment if you think you would like to ask Ben some questions. We were thinking about having a live stream going. Maybe we could take a few questions. That's our next phase of spoiler alert. So hopefully
Love
we'll
to.
get that going, and we
That'd
would
be
love to
great.
ask you about your new song.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
love to. And I'll have some of my team here. You can talk to them too.
Oh, that would be a
Tell
great
you I'm a
hour.
bad
We might
person.
have to extend that hour.
Sure. And one thing I wanted to ask is, when you were out there touring, was it mostly in the southern US, or where was it at? Where were some of the gigs at?
Good question.
It was all, yeah, it was all in the U.S., all over the U.S.
Hmm.
and Canada.
Wow, Canada too. We have some Canada
We did
listeners too.
love Canada.
But that's really great to hear, because and some of your live concerts are on YouTube also, right?
Yes, sir.
That's
Yeah, I've
that's
been doing a lot of live video performances because that seems to be what people want to hear.
it really
Uh,
is. If you look at YouTube.
yeah, yeah, the video content is what gets the most attention. Um, so I have been focusing on that. I think people really want to see you, like you all suggested me playing tonight. I think people really do want to see what a person can do right then and there, right?
The bluegrass band that's my favorite band, they actually have live concerts where they just do like 5 songs.
Yeah,
It's like a little mini concert. And I'm
yeah.
like, man, that's brilliant, and it's live. So if you screw up, it's still all the goodness of the live show,
Pe-
But
People, people
go ahead.
love, people love to hear mistakes.
Yes, yes, you're right. You're right. It was funny too, because you could tell one of the guys had a cough drop in his mouth and he was trying to struggle through a song. I'm like, this is cool, because I've heard the guy sing. I know he can sing, but it's just I'm right there with him, struggling, because I've been on stage and not feeling too good. I'm sure you've been on stage and not too feeling too good, but you got to get your ass through it somehow.
Boy, I tell you, I remember one. I remember one time I think it was in Michigan somewhere. I got the flu.
Coincidentally.
Yeah.
I got the flu, and I had to perform because you got guys depending on you. Plus, the venues spent money, and I was so sick I could hardly stand up, and I was puking behind my amp, and
Oh
it
my
was rough.
goodness.
I got
Oh,
through it.
Mm.
bless your heart. Yeah, the show must go on. Well, what is the what do you hope to see in 5 years for you and your team?
Man, we're gonna keep cranking the songs out. As long as I have ideas, I'm gonna keep cranking them out, developing them, and my main goal is try to help other artists. Uh, I've been fortunate to have what I have here, and um, that's why I built the shack, is obviously for my material, but to help other artists. and use my experience to help them get to where they want to be.
So rather than further accomplishment, you're going to devote yourself to helping others. That's
That's
fairly
right.
noble. That's pretty awesome,
That's
bro.
I
all.
love it.
You know,
I love it. Yeah.
um, I mean, I've aged out of the business a long
Mm,
time ago, as far as mainstream music business, and that's why I took this road to be able to produce my own material and release it, because there's no major label gonna invest in Ben Brookes Belcher at my age, so um, I'm in control of it, and if people like my music, then they don't care.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, you
that's
definitely have your audience. You have your, you have your fans, and thank goodness, at least that good thing came out of the transformation of the world. I mean, if it wasn't for COVID, I don't think I would even know my favorite musicians right now, because they had to adapt, and the online realm was that,
yeah,
and I hope it treats you as well as you treat the world and your fans, and just your attitude on life, because you're definitely one of the good guys in
I can tell, yeah,
shark
for sure.
infested world. And it's really good to see someone with a pure heart out there doing well, and not looking for, I don't know, the acquisition of wealth is no longer the driving force in your life.
yeah. I mean,
It's
you said honesty is a big uh well, you in my opinion, people want to identify with people that are honest. They they're not going to support somebody that they don't believe. um so I think that you have to be honest in all things, and especially your music. So that's what we try to do. And helping people is a very important part of success. Um, and it's really what makes you feel the best about things. And so I get a lot of satisfaction out of helping other people.
we here and there, it's not overly common. I mean, people who are producing content aren't actually really focused often on helping other people.
No,
But do you know, the ones who become the most successful kind of have that, I mean, in common. I mean, I see a lot of YouTube stars and stuff who seem to be thankful for what they've gotten, and definitely are giving back, so I'm sure your team and your organization is just spreading love and getting a lot back, and geez, I hope it just keeps going for a long, long time.
I agree. Great.
You want to talk about let's see.
Talk about where we can find you, where the listeners can
that's
find you, your
that's a good idea.
website, your YouTube channel, and what's the best thing that you would like? What's the best platform that you want your fans to engage with you on?
You Like, do you want people to follow you on Twitter, Facebook also, and stuff like that?
Instagram,
Where are you getting a lot of
YouTube.
attention? Yeah. What do you want to give out? Give out anything you want.
yeah. So I'm on YouTube, Ben Brookes Belcher, Pandora.
All right.
I saw your website was pretty impressive. Let me get a look at that right there. Yeah.
Yeah, your
I
website
got
is
you
really
right
impressive.
there. Very good looking website. And that video was just awesome. I'm not going to play it because I'll get a copyright ding probably, but hey, I recommend that song to everybody. It's great.
And we'll make sure to post your links on our on this podcast episode. which three would you prefer us to post? Maybe your website, Pandora and YouTube? Or does it not really matter?
It doesn't matter.
Well, you can find them all through your website, right?
Yeah, or if you Google Ben Brookes Belcher, it all comes up.
That's a great point. Okay.
So
Excellent.
one more thing I'm interested in before we let you go. And I hope you come back and I hope you bring your guys, because I think it'd be a cool party if we get a bunch of people focusing on your new song, because I'm just dying. But you're not going to give us anything. I don't blame it. You don't want to spoil anything. You're playing it smart. I respect that.
Well, that and he doesn't have a guitar handy.
But speaking of that, when do you think the next time is going to be when you do actually play live?
That's a good question.
So you don't have plans really?
We're working on some small tours, and but to be honest, ever since the pandemic, we've been focused on producing music. So, but we are ready to go out and perform live.
We need you to do that. You know why? We got to dig ourselves out of this damn pandemic. I'm sick of not going out, and I'm sick of this state doing this and that state doing that, and we just gotta, I think, let it go. I know people are scared, but I really admire what you're doing. I hope you play live, because I bet you that's something great.
Yeah. Thanks for another great Mark 2.0 with Ben Brookes Belcher. Make sure to check out his website, his YouTube. We will post the links in the show notes. As always, we are Mark 2.0. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. And Brian, explain to the listeners why you subscribe on YouTube over Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it, Stitcher.
Because of this handsome man sitting here right now. Look at Ben. He's just awesome. Look at him.
Oh, I thought you were talking about yourself, Brian. No, Ben is
about myself.
Great.
No, you know what? Because you get to see everything. That's why YouTube is better, guys. It's just nothing like it, and Ben has told us some great stories today, and I hope you come back with some more. And we want to see all your band members. And you know why it's going to be great? Because he's going to play us a little song, right?
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Okay. So that's why you subscribe to YouTube. You become a subscriber. It's totally free. It costs nothing to my new people, and you can unsubscribe at any time. And all that does is feed you information from this channel. If you ring the bell, it'll literally send you a notification when we have Ben on or something. And it's just a way to get involved in the community. It's the future. Everybody get on board, and we're looking forward to seeing Ben again. So everybody subscribe, and maybe we'll get the chat room going. Everybody comment down below if you're interested in a chat room.
Make sure Brian will love this one. Make sure to rate our setup, because Brian and I spent eons upon eons of hours trying to mimic each other's setup, and we've done pretty well.
We wanted to look professional for Ben. He's been at this a while. He knows amateurs, and we're trying to fake it really well.
Yeah, we're just so thrilled. Anyways,
Ben, it's actually been a really great experience, and I can't wait to see you again. Your song is great, and tomorrow, everybody, look for Ben's new song. Make sure you like it. Make sure you comment. Let's give him a lot of love on the new song, everybody.
And we really appreciate you coming on, Ben. Today actually was my birthday, and I couldn't think of a better way to spend it than to hang out with
Mark's birthday,
one of the most talented musicians around. Thanks so much, Ben.
Thank you very much.